Let's all stand, everybody, as we begin with Arti and opening mantras. Sajam cha Varti Sanyuktam Grahina Yojitam Mayam Deepam Grahana Devesham Trilokyatimidapaham. Tonight, we'll ask Pandit Sanjay to help us with Arti for obvious reasons.
Om Jai Janani Jai Bhagwatam Jai Janani Jai Bhagwatam Jai Janani Jai Bhagwatam Jai Janani Jai Bhagwatam Jai Jai Bhagwat Bhagwan ki है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचम वेर निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ पंचम वेर निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला हरि गान यही वरदान यही हरि गान यही वरदान यही जग के मंगल की आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत पापों को मिटाने वाला हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी ये मधुसूदन की आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती ये मधुर बोल जग बंद खोल सन्मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला ये मधुर बोल जग बंद खोल सन्मार्ग दिखाने वाला बिगड़ी को बनाने वाला श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही प्रभु की महिमा की आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती गोविंद बोलो जय जय गोविंद गोविंद गोपाल गोपाल राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गोपाल गोपाल राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गोपाल श्री राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोविंद गोपाल गोविंद गोविंद गोपाल Gopal Radhe Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Shri Radhe Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Jai Radhe Krishna Govinda Govinda Gopal Namaste Stu Maha Vyasa Vishal Buddhe Pular Vinda Yatapatra Neta Yena Tvaya Bharati Taila Purna Prajalito Gyamanaya Pradeepa Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ek Babu Shri Vyas Maharaj Ki Jai.
Everybody, please have your seat. Make yourself comfortable. For those of you logging on, those of you here in the temple, please bear with me with my current voice. Let's join together as we do simple opening mantra. Guru Mai. You and Baba might have to help me here, you know.
Gajananam Bhutaganadi Sevitam Kapita Jumbo Palichara Bhakshitam Umasutam Shoka Vinashakarakam Namami Viganeshwara Parapankajam Sarvamangalamangale Shive Sarvata Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vrindavan Bihari Lal
Ki Jai.
You want to try your Sumran? Try now. You and Baba doing good. Here, look it. You can't possibly do worse than me right now. We'll do it together, don't worry. Today, for those of you viewing, remember, for many people, fasting without water, there are people in this world that have real trouble. And when the day comes, the Monday, the Somvar day, people who have bleeding behind their eyes, they fast on Mondays because Chandrama is in charge of the eyes. People who have surgeries throughout this world for cataract, for glaucoma. When we, as devotees of Lord Shiva, if you read your Bill Vashtakam, you will see if I offer damaged bay leaves, it causes eyesight trouble, loss of eyesight. So the person who fasts on Monday naturally prays, dear Lord, please extend my vision. Please protect my vision. People who are shift back, they pray for the protection of eyesight. When a person spits on a lingam, when a person desecrates a lingam, when a person harms a lingam, and trust me, it have people who do it. They lash back. Unfortunately, whether in this life or the next, when you see in God's creation people who have eyesight or related type problem, that same Mahadev, that same Ishwar, the one who has 3 eyes, when you damage his lingam, that person is robbed of the eyesight. For that reason, people who have throughout this world been messaging this morning, for some of you I got the reply, some I didn't, and you have your surgery, generally, I'm replying tonight. Use the opportunity to pray. This discourse that I'm about to give you is not normally read because of the nature of the kata. It doesn't have a budge and fate, but the secrecy of Lord Krishna, the burden of listening to it gives the person that when you have anxiety before surgery, or the person is fighting for a solution, it comes. To begin tonight, let's join together as we do our Sumran. Put your hands together, wherever you may be. Join together with us here in the mandir as we prepare now for our 6th session of this Bhagwat at Satya Jyoti. And ask Lord Krishna to bless you at your own weaknesses. Don't allow that to block me from my prayer tonight, dear Lord. Allow me to benefit from what I'm about to hear. Go ahead.
Riddhi Siddhi Data Siddhi Sarana Varana Vadana Sumiro Barambar Madana Kadana Ki Lal Ko Ganapati Kripa Nidhan Gyan Kani Ananda Bhavana Nehu Mohi Varadan Varano Basha Bhagavata Jai Shiva Ananda Kanda Bhutanata Bhava Bhaya Harana Bhakti Vishay Nidavanda Gauravadana Mangala Karana He Braja Chandra Mukunda Braja Bhushana Dushana Harana Katahu Bhava Bhaya Vanda Charana Sharana Liyana Kara Jai 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 Jagadisha Shrita Shresha Mahisha Aja Mahima Amita Abhevam Veda Veda Janata Nahi Redhi Siddhi Data Siddhi Sarana Varana Varana Sumiro Barambar Madana Karana Ki Lal Ko
Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Where we continue is in chapter 13 of Skand 10. I don't know if you might have to raise my volume a little bit. Sukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit, as you listen more and more, it is quite fortunate that you have the karma to have the attitude, thank you, to have the attitude to want to know more about his history. He says it is the nature of righteous people to assimilate only the essential parts, to pay attention just enough to get the sweetness when we were talking about Madhuram. Through their speech, through their thoughts, they benefit from the company of satsang. Where satsang is when we meet one another to discuss only truthful, sattvic things. He says, O king, for you to grow, in order for the devotee to develop further, there is a discourse that is considered a secret, that is confided in people who have love for God. It should not be read for people who are very transactional, but people who have a selfless, people who have a seva type of personality, people who are willing to give themselves because of what he represents to them. Having saved, listen good, king, having saved those boys from Agasur, that huge serpent, Krishna now brought all of them, all the boys. Slow down that background music a little more in case people can't hear me. For those of you looking online, please message and tell me if you could hear me. He brought all the boys to the bank of the Yamuna. This Yamuna river, the bank is very sandy. And for that reason, they were playing and tossing sand on each other, whilst the cows grazed in the fields. And now, the Vanar army of Ram, if somebody asks you, how is it in this discourse somebody's going to get jealous? How is it that these boys, who we call the Gopas and Gopis, are so lucky that Krishna is getting to spend time with them? Sudama, Mansukh, all these people. Remember when in Ramayana, Ram is getting ready to leave. When Hanuman does the act of eating the food of Sita, and he says, my mother is cooking and I want to eat. That is the discourse where Ram tells Sita put a tulsi leaf in his food to fool him. She went and she fed all the Vanar who had fought to bring her home. Ram says, I did not get to do anything with you. I did not get to eat with you. I did not get to feed you like your mother. For this reason, when I come upon the earth again, you will come with me and I will get to eat with you then. I will feed you with my hand to your mouth, and I will share food with you to satisfy my hunger, to offer the blessing that you will eat with me, you will feed me one on one, and I will repay the debt of blood that you gave in these many fights that we went through together. At that time, people like Sugriv and others were thrilled, Angad in particular, thrilled to hear this. And now that time has come. Krishna announces to them, oh brothers, Let us rest here and let us eat today. Show me what food you have. I am so hungry. I want to eat from all of you. They let the calves go and all the cows are grazing. And whilst this is happening, Parikshit, they all opened their slings, their joris, their tiffins, and they started to open what parents gave them to eat. But to supply Krishna with the food, they all sat in a circle, and Krishna was in the middle. And one by one, all of them wanted to feed him. Taste this, taste mine. You have to eat peace from me. Let me eat what you have. Some of them had their food wrapped in leaves, and he doesn't wait for them to open it. He's ripping open the leaf. It smells so good. Open your food fast. Like friends. And on that bank, they laughed. And they're pushing food in each other's mouth. And in that childlike way, while they were playing, he who is wearing that Pitambar dhoti, because of the goddess of Pitambari, the mother always had him in that yellow color to protect him. Till today, when people go, they're getting married and they're tying the kangan in the hand. Of all the colors, that yellow color is a goddess used to protect. This is why Mahavishnu is always in that yellow dhoti. That's why they always talk about it, Pitambar, Pitambar. A mother is dressing this child to protect him from all the demons that were attacking. When we hear last night about the peacock feather, now we are understanding the mind of Yashoda a little more. She's dressing him now to repel bad in the form of this yellow dhoti. And when they are in the forest, Krishna now messed his hand with rice and the mark on the yogurt. He's throwing all the fruit, mashing it up inside this rice and yogurt and mixing it. And with his left hand, he was mixing the food, and the right hand pushing it in the mouth. In our etiquette, we believe left hand is for washroom. So when you sit with people to eat, if you ever see the pundit, using myself as the example, just to understand, if you see, we go to eat by the table and I cover my hand, or my left hand is on my lap. The right hand is for food. So the person would break the roti, touch the takari and eat. The left hand, they might hold the cup, but they would not macerate food, to say like this. Even if you're left-handed. Because in our culture, we leave this hand for sanitation purpose and this hand for offering, for puja, for eating, etc. But now greedily, he cannot mix the food fast enough. He's grabbing from everybody, pushing it in his bowl and mixing with the right hand to eat. And all of them are watching him and laughing. Look how greedy our friend is. Look how greedy our boy is for the older ones. And whilst all this was going on, the devatas gawked at the leela that was unfolding and became very envious at the high status that the devotee of Krishna could attain, to be so close that now he is eating out of their hands. And they were jealous that they could not come close to that relationship. As the cow herders, these young boys are lost in this moment with Krishna. It so happened all the cows strayed, being free. They went as they wished, going deeper and deeper into the forest. Parts of the forest that was not normal for them to venture in as young children. Perceiving that now the young boys, they themselves are afraid to go behind the animal. They have to get back the animal. But they know they don't go into that dense portion of the forest. After he realized, they were worried. What will we do now? How will we get back this cow? Christian stand up. He still had rice and yogurt. He said, friends, don't worry. Put aside your fear. You keep eating. Don't disturb your meal. I will go and fetch all the cow. Let me get up and work. And with these words and the boiled rice still in his hand, Christian went to search for the cattle. Going in different parts, thick jungle, dense bush. But all this was a Leela. Brahma, who stood in the heaven and watched how formerly Krishna had saved all of these boys and their calves from Agasur. And he watched how Krishna led them, holding their hand literally, out of the belly of that snake. Now, that same Brahma kidnapped all the calves. So Krishna is walking looking for cow, no cow. When Krishna came back, no boys. The entire field is empty. And not being able to find any of them, Krishna realized immediately, Noah, of everything in this universe, he understood it was the work of Brahma. Verse 17, chapter 13, scan 10. With a view to maintain the joy in the heart of all these mothers, he understood what Brahma was doing, but Brahma did not understand the consequence of what he was doing. In the moment, he only thought about himself, and what he wanted was attention from the Lord. But Krishna studied the heart and the mind of all these boys' mothers. When the sun would start to go down, who would go to hug these ladies? And in that moment, Krishna started to separate himself, started to multiply. Krishna, the maker and the controller of this universe, converted himself and made a photocopy for every cow herder, for every gopa, for every cattle. Krishna became the height, the exact size, the color of the cow, the color of the boy, and each one of them who had stick, who had flute, who had what decoration in their hair, who had the head tie, just as mother packed them and sent them off. Krishna took that exact form now, playing and fighting all these photocopies of Krishna, with the same nature of each one, with the voice of each one. The birthless Krishna, who did not come from a womb, making all these copies. Parikshit, in the Vedic text, it says everything in this universe is pervaded and preserved by Vishnu. But not many people have the opportunity to see it. But Brahma is watching. Having converted himself into the form of the cattle, when the sun set that day, this band of friends walked into the village and separated into their individual household. Krishna went to each house looking like a son, walked into the gaushala, into the house, into the shed for the cow, like the respective cattle. And the baby calf went by the mother and started to drink milk. The little boys went by their mother with stories, with a heart and head full of the day's events to offload on their mother. And the poor mother unchained to take off all the bad because you're going lineman with Krishna. And Krishna is a very bad lucky child. He is bad company. He does only bring bad. Bad does only follow he. And you, oh God, you have to go with your friend. And this friend is going to get you in trouble. Monsters come after this friend. So imagine every mother on chain and rubbing down and bathing with dust, bathing them with cow pee. Krishna bathed that night with cow urine in every one of the house. The mothers did not know, but the universal master was under their hand as they took their hand with cow urine, gaumutra and water, and they bathed their baby with so much of love, worried that because their baby is lying with Yashoda's baby, the trouble that will hit Krishna will come and hit my child. When the two Arjun tree fall, if my child was with him, my child would have get damaged. In that moment, if Brahma is growing on the universal flower, that flower root comes from the navel of Mahavishnu. And in the illustration of that flower, it shows that the entire creation and everything inside is coming from his body. Brahma stood and he was watching. Look at Power Boy. He says, Parikshit, the next day, at the crack of that sunlight, as the cows started to call, as the mothers started to bellow in the gaushala, the little boy get up and he started to blow his flute, signaling time to go. Come on, boys, let's go. And for the whole day, they would leave. The mothers packed them up with their lunch like little men going off with the cattle. All of them happy, singing, pushing, kicking, fighting each other. But only Brahma knew that all this facade was copies of that same Krishna. He watched how the tilak on their forehead looked different. There was no similarity. But he knew the truth. And every evening, that evening and following evening and etc., he watched how the cattle came in and individual cows went to different udders, the breast of their mother, and pulled on the milk. Some bit the other, some licked the other, some had to rub against mother's skin, some touched the tail of their mother. And he looked at how the variation in behavior, although they were the same. Hari's behavior is truly unique, Parikshit. And in this way, Brahma spent a vrat of focusing on Krishna's Leela, watching his work, watching his behavior, his power, and his endurance to keep up this facade, this Leela, this play, for one entire year. The affection of the residents of Vrindavan, remember now they leave Gokul there on the hill, towards their children every day, it was growing, but in this unprecedented way, as a child growing more, memories growing with them. But Brahma knows the only thing these people love, the only thing these people feed in is Krishna. And in this way, he watches how the capacity for this Lord did not get tired. After 1 year, And one day, while this whole all this examination and analysis on Brahma part, every day they go to the field, he going with them to watch. One day, 6 days before the year was complete, they are now in the same spot where they was lying down initially. And Krishna turned around, and Balaram sensed that something was wrong. He says the cows are grazing on top of the hill. They look the same. But the affection that I am seeing, the way these cows are tranquil, the way how everything is feeling here, I feel as if the working of my God is at play. And when Balaram's mind could not shake the feeling that some type of mysticism was at play, he says, younger brother, governor of this world, is these cows real? Are these our friends? The happiness seems to be supported by you. Ruler of this universe, tell me the truth. In this Janam, I am your elder brother. In our last meeting, when we came upon the earth and you were Ram and I was Lakshman, I had to listen to you. I had to light that fire for Sita Mata to walk through that blaze, and I did not like it. And this is why I told you, when I come upon the earth again, this time I will be the elder one, and you will have to listen to me. Verse 38, he says, tell me the truth. What is really going on here? He says, my dear brother, Brahma is playing a game to test me. And for the wink of an eye in his time, which is the equivalent to 1 human year, he is testing to see what will happen. And whatever number of children and calves that existed here, my Maya expanded. And for that reason, you are seeing what you are seeing and feeling what you are feeling. For a long time, I have been playing this Leela. And because it is only your vision who could see the difference, nobody could see who is real and who is not real. Krishna allowed this Leela to go on for a few days, and Brahma came, and it was now time for his turn. And when Brahma came by the water the next morning, just as how when the sky is bright and then the cloud becomes dark, the place looks different from all the variation of boys and cow. Krishna transformed each one of those boys in that moment to look dark. The verse says here, like a cloud, they all became very dark like him, Sham Sundar, wearing yellow dhoti. Every one of the children transformed now. A dark chest, dark arms, not 1 or 2 arms, but 4 arms, wielding the Shank Chakra Garad Padma. Now, in the blink of an eye, Brahma was looking at Mahavishnu multiplied by 100 and maybe more. And he watched this amazing view. As far as he could see, the armlets, the angad, the different things, the signs of Mahavishnu, and each one of them from head to toe was covered with malas of tulsi leaf. The sign of a devotee. Each one of those forms was looking at him, smiling, resplendent. And when he realized that the jig was up, that he was caught, he thought Mahavishnu would have been angry with him. He expected retribution. But he watched how every face looking at him smiled gentle, like a parent smiling at a child who had done something foolish. Full with Rajogun and the tendencies to be distracted by thoughts, Brahma felt ashamed. Vishnu stood there in an understanding gaze, with an understanding, loving way still. And Brahma stood, he did not get reprimanded, he did not get one word. The four-handed Vishnu started to dance with the next four-handed Vishnu. And Brahma saw how they were singing and dancing and spinning in front of him. Everything was alive. And he saw Ashtasiddhi, now Nidhi, Kedata, the mystical powers that make things happen, manifested in front of him. Meaning, we hear that verse from Hanuman Chalisa. That Ashtasiddhi, one of it, just to give you one by name, is Anima. Anima is a power, a form of Shakti that gives the holder of the power the ability to shrink to minute size. When people say the entire, in today's world, Avengers story, the ability to shrink, the ability to expand their body big, multiverse, all of that, the concept of time. When you watch, when they do their different yantras in their hand, if you look at it, you will see Hinduism true and true. You are seeing it in your Hanuman Chalisa, and Ant-Man and Iron Man are practicing it on the TV. Anima is the ability that Hanuman uses when he goes to cuff Lankani, when he goes into Lanka, and he goes from this form to huge form back to this form like a mosquito. Vishnu started in that dance to run from each other, and one, he would become small, using the anima as an example, lagima, and all the different types. His body is changing. 1 minute he changed into a monster, next minute he changed into a tree. Mobile, immobile. All the principles of Sankhya, Yoga, Mahat, Ahankar, all of it. Time. The energy of the sansar came there. Vishnu Baba takes the form. And all this lila, like if people are dancing on a stage in front of an audience. Brahma, this audience of one, saw how he manifested in a red form, in a yellow form, in a black form, representing the three gunas, playing catch, of all things, playing catch. Brahma watched how his ability to manifest all the Upanishad knowledge. He watched and he saw, and as he was watching, he felt that although he is the creator and everything that is in front of him manifested from his ability, from his cognitive sense, to see it play out in this way, this Lord of Saraswati started to cry. It caused confusion in his body to understand there is so much I know, and still I do not know him. With this vision, Brahma started to cry and closing his eyes. Being the whole universe started to come piece by piece in front of him. He looked around, and anyway he saw in that Vrindavan, he saw all, everything in the universe. And then in the next moment, everything disappeared. He was standing alone now. Without a second, no calf, no boy, no form, no Vishnu. He was all alone. And Brahma dropped down from this one. If you ever see this picture, Brahma threw himself. He says, don't leave me. Don't punish me, Mahavishnu. I was wrong. Krishna now came, two-handed form, peacock feather, yellow dhoti, basri in hand. And Brahma is lying straight as a stick by his feet. He says, dear Lord, all I have is the tears in my eyes to wash your feet. I thought I knew more than you. I thought I was bigger than you. I thought I could test you. Please forgive me for my arrogance because of my behavior. I am a stranger to humility. When I thought I knew it, I did not even know you. He offered all his prayer. The entire of the 14th chapter of this 10th skand is a stotra that people use when the person is so engrossed and so confused with their arrogance. When, let me just say, who uses this prayer? As a wife, I am praying for my husband. As a brother, I'm praying for my sister. This person has become so corrupted, much more for children, so corrupted that they are throwing away their gifts. The person becomes their own enemy because of their perception. A good example for this, when a person says they lost their faith, the spouse, sometimes the parent would use this in prayer, same Christian prayer, same Lord Krishna Puja, the flag, the color of the cloth, the prasad is the same, but here the prayer is different. Tonight, let's say our prayers. Let's chant a couple of verses for anybody in your family. For those of you here, those of you at home, put your hands together. Pashyema vishvayanteya paragya vishvayeyapi mayi mayi mayam vaitak yena vishnute ishvatam cha bhavyatam yena ata shamaprata rajo bhava hridayeyatam pratishe maname ye aja valetam manuham yaksho isho naksha mayanat. Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki jai. Imperishable Lord, be pleased with me. Forgive me. And in the case where you're praying for somebody else, forgive the person. When you see, for example, pundits use this prayer, if somebody converted or converts from Sanatana Dharma, and the person decides, well, it's time to take the lingam and throw it to the wall, throw it in the ocean, desecrate it. I don't believe in that anymore. The person walks away from the Dharma, to put it in practical sense. When the person, listen to the words, under false notion, I became lost about who is the supreme ruler. I became blinded by my arrogance and ignorance. Therefore, I created mistakes, I created sin. And I am asking you to protect me from the mistakes I made because of a momentary lapse in judgment. You who are Prakriti, you who are Purusha, you are the female, the male that allows reproduction, photosynthesis, the different types of biological cycles so that energy propagation of life, natural life, can go on. Dear Lord, forgive me. He says, Prabhu, this prayer is a nice one. We use this prayer sometimes in funeral. I'm saying this, so if anybody here does not know how to atone for the mistakes, there is an option. This verse is chanted when children are hurtful to parents. When you have made mistakes, when you have let them down, to be honest, this verse is chanted in the prayer. When such parents are going and you want to atone for your mistake, dear Lord, when the baby is in the belly and the child takes its foot and kicks the mother's belly, is it considered to be our offense? Dear Lord, in the contrary, it is not a hurtful, it is not a harmful thing. It is a natural thing that the mother considers it to be a blessing that the child is alive and kicking. Dear Lord, whatever I did, do not constitute this as an offense. Do not hold me to this. There is nothing that I can do to hurt you. There is no way I can affect you when I am just a little entity in the bowels of this universe. It behoves you, dear God, to forgive me of all the offenses that I did, just as a mother, a true father has patience and the ability to forgive a child. Forgive me. Traditional scriptures state that I am truly a puppet that lives on the lifeline from your navel, O Mahavishnu. That I and everything that comes after me, deluded with false notions of independence. But you are the Nara, you are the Narayan, you are the soul, the energy, the features, as I have seen. Thank you for allowing me to see this. Blessed is the person that listens to this discourse, that if they become lost, if they become in any way confused in the course of their life, if they become lost in greed, selfishness, if they are doing prayer, but the person is praying only from a tamasic perspective, from a vengeful perspective, rajasic, praying only for financial gain, bless the person to gain the insight, as I have just done, to be able to see you in your incarnation, in your work, in your manifestation in their life, to see how you work in a person's life and existence, whether in the family or around them. You are truly the life, the soul of this universe. At first, when I stole these calves and I stole these boys, I did test you. It was to see if you would fail. But look how you could stand test and testify and show your power. And when you revealed yourself in that four-handed form, I felt ashamed, as any ignorant person feels ashamed when they see your prowess, meaning I should have known better. That sense of shame comes to people when their behavior is less than what they're supposed to be. When a person acts like a beast but they are in human form. When they are cruel, but they are in human form. The day it comes to them, maybe through a lesson, that how you do to others, it will come back to you. You who incarnated as Devta, you who incarnated as sages, you who incarnated as man, you who incarnated as less than human beasts, Varner, half human, half animal, you incarnated as reptile, you incarnated as aquatic life. I should have known better. I should have seen you, and I should have known who you were, and never to doubt your ability. Dear Lord, forgive me. Permit me, with this new understanding, never to make this mistake again. Never to have doubt. That I must never act as if I am tied like sinners in this age of Kali Yuga, tied in samsara, tied in this web of lies and delusion. If your devotee should gain a portion of what I gain, bless that person to be freed from that same samsara. O protector of this universe, I am blessed with good luck, that in every form may I always see you and know you. May I forever be a devotee of your feet. And in the moment, as Brahma was saying all of this, in a second, the cow started to come back. Sit down. Come in. Sit down. The cow started to come out from the forest. And when they did this, Brahma was allowed to leave that, oh Krishna, that don't matter what, may you bless your children. Bless those people that are subservient to you. That when these people come to you in this way, even if they make mistakes, may you free them from the cycle of birth and death. Krishna accepted the prayer of Brahma. And this has an important part to do with something we offer in prayers today. In this year, we've been offering sandalwood stick, but the white tikka we all grew up with, or what is called Gopi Chandan. Gopi Chandan is when you are mixing the milk, the ash, the basma from the lingam, and the dirt, the mud from Vrindavan. Brahma says the person who is able to come to Vrindavan because of this lila, because of this katha, the mud of this place will bring drishti, will bring blessing. For that reason, when you go to your puja store and you're buying Gopi Chandan, you will notice that in most of his worship, people use this white tikka. That white tilak or chandan has this inherent blessing that they literally take the mud, this dirt from Vrindavan after Brahma blessed the land. That this land is so blessed because Krishna walked, and the sandy soil, when mixed together with milk and the sandalwood and the oil and all of that, when the person is sharing it for people, whether you are putting with the tongue so that the person is victorious when you see they put on the nose bridge coming up, bless you to achieve the lifestyle you have, when they are praying for freedom upliftment, when you are praying for victory, with this finger you will see people put tikka. When you are praying for mukti, like in anteshti or funeral sanskar, you will see they put on the dead body with this finger, index finger, right hand. All of these places, you will see the person use gopi chandan or that white tikka. I saw Baba had basma in a container by the lingam. I saw red sandalwood for Devi chandan. They use white chandan stick, sandalwood stick. But when, after this moment, Brahma says this land is so blessed, if the person does tirat here, if the person visits India, for us who live in a different country, if the person does yatra and they come and do seva, they help, they clean, they do any type of work, share food, or use the matti, use the mud in their altar or in their offering in the form of the chandan, that the person who is lost, the person who is missing, kidnapped, missing, the person who is going through some tumultuous time in their life, that person will see remedy to their problem. Till today when people go in there and they pick up a little bit of the dirt, people worship the land because of the amount of blessing and punyam this land has. And they will bring it. I remember the first time we went doing puja in different places, and where the banyan tree, where they go to do and the Kurukshetra coming into Vrindavan and all of that. In our Bedi home, all the different type of mud is in that Bedi. When you see people doing prayers with us home, Gaya, the mud from all these different places is there. And for elders who cannot, when you have Bhagwat like this, for elders who cannot reach to these places, when you bring it in your community temple Bedi and they get to bow, rest their head, think about the amount of punyam and help you help these people with. Likewise, home here in this yagya, in Satya Jyoti here, with all the work that people have been doing all day, Pandit coming to help assist with prayers, the cooks, the cleaners, who are you really helping? He says, when the person who allows another individual who may be lost, who may be confused in their faith, he says, Parikshit, this is not some Shudra, this is not some lowly born person. Sometimes we speak as if high caste, highly birth, highly placed, many PhDs behind your name, accolades. People know how to act, how to pray, how to talk. But this is the creator. This is the boss. This is the man who made everything. And he lost sight of all. In a person's life, when because of trials and tribulation, the person is losing faith. The person is crying because of death. Between me and you, when sickness comes, when a child dies and the parent has to stand up and watch that body burn, you think in that moment, that person is ready to hear, God is in charge, God is good. That is the moment they want to know where the hell God is. That is the moment that heart is breaking. That person is crumbling. Blessed is that type of person that when the faith is being tested, when you are alone and you're wondering, the God who was holding up that Govardhan Hill, where is he now? Where is my shelter? When I am outside in the rain, when I am hopeless, when I am homeless, when I have no job, no money, when I have no hope, when my family throws me away, where is my God holding a mountain over me to protect me from the beating of this life? Let the person listen to this katha, that for hopeless people hope will come. Whether in dream, whether in the form of a smiling child, something God will work in your life. God has the answer to bring back hope. Something will heal within you. A mother who lives to see a child die, no pundit. I never had a baby in my belly. Could really honestly tell you, don't worry, time heal wounds. In my own life, my younger days, I guess up to now, I would say, don't worry, time is heal. But when my mother died, and I experienced it in my life, I lost my father when I was 12. And my mother became a friend. I'm the eldest of 3 children. And anything this lady had to do, she would come and say, boy, come, let me talk. Pay this bill, pay that bill. What to do? Send them to this, marry them to the boy. Look, somebody come to ask them to marry. That same Baba who doing that job in by Mr. Bansing, he wanted to marry one of my sister many moons ago. That different cut her. But how I find out, she come and she say, what to do, boy? When that lady died, time to heal wounds. Your mother is your mother. Maybe we just forget. Maybe we just get distracted. And maybe that is God's work. But the truth is we don't forget. And I'm not trying for 2 people who messaged me today and asked me to make mention about the children they lost. Sometimes the trouble we just have when children living, and they giving me a little trouble because of the mannishness. Or they coming home and they only eating out. The one lady say, Pandit, I don't know what prayers it have, but the boy just come and he'll eat out all the food in the pot and leave a little bit so, and leave the pot on the stove. And after that lady hang up the phone, and next one called me and said, Pandit, I am bawling for my son. He committed suicide 2 weeks ago. In my mind, the one who had his son coming home to eat the food, let him eat. Eat, brother, eat. Eat. Sometimes when, and the only reason I'm talking about it, sometimes when life really put you on that test, it takes a special person, a strong person to survive. But in everybody's life, when you need help, trust me, Bhagwat, of all the things, Bhagwat is that book, that text, that body that gives you hope and gives you constellation. When Krishna leaves Brahma, after Brahma finished saying prayers, when he watched Brahma had released all the boys and all the cow, everything. The friends are calling, will you reach back? After a year, it was as if a blink of an eye had passed. And who had the food in their mouth is still chewing the food. Nothing happened in their eyes, nothing happened in their memory. And the one who saved them from that boa constrictor, he came back. Raja Parikshit says, oh Brahman, explain to me how this amount of love, how these people were able to get this amount of love from the Lord. And Guruji says, when a person lives with love, when a person strives and gives love to people, feed children, take care of elders. And they give up this one-sidedness, the mindness. I'm coming to make parasad, I'm coming to sweep, to use the jug as an example, to sweep the temple, but nobody is giving me a trophy. Nobody is seeing the sacrifice I'm making. Believe it have somebody recording these things. And when somebody in the example of showing love, the greatest thing somebody could do is to share food. The person who gives that food to any and everybody, the person who shows love and care, if in their mind they say Krishna Arpan, make it better, or Parikshit, don't see Krishna as a murti, see Krishna as a boat. Verse 58, chapter 14. The boat that will take you from here to the happiness that you want, like a transport. Such people do not hold the tail of the cow to cross the very tyranny, but using their day-to-day life to show love to other people when nobody says thank you. Not one person gives you credit. Know that you are doing it for the right reason. Nobody needs to know the good you do. But the person who will ferry you from the pain and the suffering. When Narad Muni was talking to Nala Kubara in our last session, he says poverty makes your perception different. He says the person who is born rich, they have a different dispensation of understanding how people live and how people are. He says, but poverty is a tool used by God to train a person to see good in everything. He says, to understand poverty, he says, imagine somebody who gets to stick the finger with a thorn and you learn the pain. You remember that pain long after the thorn comes out of your finger. And you'll never wish that pain on another person. Immediately, you will be very cautious of the danger of that thorn. You will pray. You will walk on the road different to get away from that thorn. You will be mindful. You will help somebody save their hand from that pain. But when you do not know about that thorn, you will be careless. You will be carefree. And you will never care about another person getting pricked by that thorn. But if you look at the lessons Garibi or poverty teaches, it builds character and it builds the bhakti in the person that is walking towards God. If the person lacks that insight, the person's persona would be lost, and that person's entire janam comes as if it were wasted. But when the person has this ability to think and see from that perspective, you could reach to the heights of accolades, but you will always be humble. You will remember your true nature, down to earth. You will see people as equal rather than worship the money that fill some people's pocket. He says, a sign of Kali Yuga, people will not worship the sadhu. Sadhu by definition is the person who does not hoard even food. If you give them, they take. If you take it out for them, they'll accept it. But if you wait for them to ask you for that or to beg or to run, I've done so much jug in my time. I'm telling you, sometime in the temple, people hiding pot of food all over the place. They're hiding, they're carrying macaroni pie, they're hiding roti. I don't know what they're hiding it for. How much roti you go eat? The perception of people, when you think they are supposed to be up here, oh Lord, poor thing, they're different. The person does not respect the selflessness. The person who is a sadhu has a perspective that I am not greedy. I am not going to hoard. I don't come to prayers, for example, with empty containers to pack it and full to see what I get. Well, let me see what I have. No. The sadhu is contented with whatever God provides. And that's a rare commodity. So you worship that persona. But in Kali Yuga, you worship the man who has money. And the poor person who is doing the worshiping and arraying and putting them in reserve seating because they are rich. Thinks, well, when I worship you, I guess the rich man will give you his wealth. But in reality, he's not giving you anything. But the person doesn't see it like that. In fact, in Kali Yuga, the person makes themselves look foolish to please this richer person who is a slave to their job, who is a slave to their business, who is a slave taking the time God give them to go and arty the dollar. That is what that person is doing. And you now is worshiping this person who is misguided, fighting in their life. Think about that person who only once. That person is in a different zone. They cannot bless you. They are looking for blessing. But you are worshiping because of what they have in their pocket, and they will not give it to you. So you end up now taking the time you have, Narad says, and they become the loser because you are throwing away, you are dumping the gifts that God gave you. Instead of developing discipline within yourself or time management, where we all have bills to pay, so you work, but I don't become fixated on that. I do my job to pay the bills so that I can take my leisure time and read my book, forget going temple, forget doing big projects, but within myself, to sit and say my prayers, play my harmonium, whatever it is makes you happy. Takes the Sunday and cook some food and share for friends, workers, whatever it be. Find the time. The time is the problem. To manage that time, to do all that you have to do and do what you should do. Sometimes we just pack up the should do part and we focus on what I have to do. I'm so busy. And a busy person is a successful person in Kali Yuga. However, when the person goes to Yamraj, I gave you time. What did you do with it? What did you achieve? Who did you help? I gave you the strength to assist. Did you feed somebody? Did you feed a dog? Did you take care of somebody? No. You gave me 3 children and I fed those 3 children. And what about the neighbor 3? I left them to starve. I saw them because they are, let's be frank, they are a different race. They are a different religion. How will I take my roti and give it to them? But then be the hypocrite. God make everybody. God live inside everybody. But behave as if God only live in the heart of the fella who are here like yours and he pray like you. When you don't have that type of maturity, no, you read Satwik. Where Pandit getting that? Go in chapter 12 of your Gita and he tells Arjuna get fed up with him. You're talking about karma, yogi, this yoga, that one good, this one good. Which one you really like, Krishna? When you go home, go read it. Around verse 4, 5, and 6. He says the person who could forgive, the person who is not prejudiced. You cannot be my bhakt, and you just hear how Brahma in this illustration sees everything, everybody is Vishnu. But me and you just live like we in a little catch, like the people, like the parents. I only see the physical outside. He look different, so he had to be different. But Brahma, who saw the ingredients in the roti, the same flour that in the bread, in the roti, in the dumpling, Brahma, he seen the flower and he seen the similarity. Me and you just watch the physical outside and say, right, bread different from roti. How that could be the same? How that could be the same thing? It's different. So when one is Negro and one is Indian and one is white, they are different. But when you look internal, it's the same. But it takes a certain maturity. It takes the person to go from tamasic, rajasic, grow now, to become sattvic, as Brahma did in our discourse. He says, Parikshit, when a person has the opportunity to listen to this discourse, just as the land of Vrindavan was made holy by the footprint, by the press of Krishna, know that in your history, the footprint, the dust that comes from his foot, just as we are striving to drink Charan Amrit every time we worship that Shaligram, the Charan of Krishna is pressing into your hard head that is made stubborn because of karma. That whatever bad habit you have, your perception, allow the person to grow by his touch. If we had to talk a little bit about Gyan tonight before I close, somebody come and ask you in a very nice way. I see you doing worship for your lingam, for any murti you choose. And I saw you bow, and I understand you're paying homage. But when you came back with your hand, you didn't just bow like that. You touched your murti, which is the God. I understand that. But then you touch your forehead. But then you tell me you have arthritis in your shoulder. And you tell me you have cancer in your belly. Let me be frank, and you have trouble in your kidney. Why you didn't touch the murti and put it here? For the person who has IBS, and you should be rubbing your lower belly, man. Why you always touching your head for? It's now in science we learn this head. Look how Hindu people is this head. Is the frontal lobe. And all my bad habit and all my good habit live right here. All my short-term memory. All my love to eat pepper in my doubles. I don't like Karaili too much. Everything about me lives right here. And I'm begging my 100% God, help this fool be better. Help me to improve. Help me to control myself. I'm an addicted person to alcohol. I love to cheat my wife. I like to lie. I like to fight for stupid things. Help me here. Make me a better person, God. Put your footprint here. That is why we just put the chandan here. That is why we just put that gopi chandan here. I could put it in different places. Which part of your body I have a duty? But here, this guide my mouth. This guide my hand. If you want to understand the subconscious part, when you drive in your car, every time the hand had to move left and right, you just tell it left now, right now, left now. When you go on your bed tonight, you just tell the heart is your body. Beat one more, beat again. Something is operating that piece of machine. But even here, God, you have to guide it. Because sometimes we get it wrong. Whatever I have asked you here, Guruji, know just as how a child grows from baby to boy to manhood, you have narrated to me the growth of Krishna. But Guruji, know that my love, my adoration for him is growing just like how a child is growing and developing. He is growing in your story, but I am growing in reality. And just as how he destroys the demons in his story, Aga, Baka, Potna, etc., by your discourse, Guruji, when the demons come in my life, when the testing moments come, by virtue of all these hymns you are saying, I am growing and winning the fight in this life. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. For this reason, blessed is the person that listens to the childhood pastimes of Krishna and Balaram, that although playful in nature, jumping and skipping like monkeys, of all the devatas that we revere, this childhood time had a lot of benefit and blessing. And the person who listens to it, the person who allows others to listen to it, those people, for example, I understand Bhakti TV, different television stations are broadcasting us. The Sabba from Durban, South Africa, reached out last night with questions. The person who says, look, there's a yug, listen to it, it might help you. In whatever way in today's world, that person is freed from the natural tendencies sometimes to doubt, to lose faith when hardships, when demons attack you in your own life, to win the fight, when called upon to have faith and to hold to your prayer. Listening to the Katha, if somebody says, why am I listening to childhood stories? These childhood stories help you to fight fights in your adult life, throughout your life, in fact. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Today, as I said before, is a very special day for the Lord Shiva Bhakt, for the Shivites, for the people that are doing Mahadev Baba worship. I want to invite anybody that would like to join to lead me in a little havan. Somebody. Let me join together in little passages. For the benefit of all those, we're going to do havan now. If you would like to join, please come. People in the month of Shravan, throughout the world, if you don't know about it, a growing phenomena. It was not done before. Only in recent time, it is becoming more and more popular. As people do worship, they ask Mahadev, as Lord Vishnu went to sleep in the Chaturmas discourse, Shiv Baba, in the month of Shravan, took hold. And in this time he says, listen to discourse. This is why you will find throughout this world people reading Bhagwat. Bhagwat Katha seems to be very popular now. Just a couple of years ago you couldn't find Bhagwat. Too much work. And now it is surging. Let's join together just using some of the names of Lord Shiva. Hari Om. Om Anand Namaha Swaha. Om Dhamma Namaha Swaha. Om Dina Namaha Swaha. Om Mahamaya Namaha Swaha. Om Kalpa Namaha Swaha. Om Chandra Namaha Swaha. Om Adri Namaha Swaha. Om Kanta Namaha Swaha. Om Jagat Guru Namaha Swaha. Om Siddhi Namaha Swaha. Om Mahabala Namaha Swaha. Om Yogi Namaha Swaha. Om Vasu Namaha Swaha. Om Satya Namaha Swaha. Om Shanta Namaha Swaha. Om Purusha Namaha Swaha. Om Sarva Namaha Swaha. Om Daksha Namaha Swaha. Om Gopati Namaha Swaha. Om Soma Namaha Swaha. Om Gupta Namaha Swaha, Om Suddhi Namaha Swaha, Om Sarga Namaha Swaha, Om Priya Namaha Swaha, Om Kavi Namaha Swaha, Om Bhavya Namaha Swaha, Om Kamdev Namaha Swaha, Om Bhasma Priya Namaha Swaha, Om Sadashiva Namaha Swaha, Om Durvasa Namaha Swaha, Om Durgama Namaha Swaha, Om Jagdish Namaha Swaha, Om Jagadguru Namaha Swaha, Om Janardhanaya Namaha Swaha, Om Balla Namaha Swaha, Om Rudra Namaha Swaha, Om Agora Namaha Swaha, Om Pushkara Namaha Swaha, Om Shambhu Namaha Swaha, Om Trilochanaya Namaha Swaha, Om Mahadevaya Namaha Swaha, Om Nidhi Namaha Swaha, Om Shama Namaha Swaha, Om Lalitanath Bhyo Namaha Swaha, Om Trishuli Namaha Swaha, Om Sara Namaha Swaha, Om Hiranyaya Namaha Swaha, Om Skanda Namaha Swaha, Om Shashta Namaha Swaha, Om Yamaya Namaha Swaha, Om Savitaya Namaha Swaha, Om Nitya Namaha Swaha, Om Bhava Namaha Swaha, Om Anadi Namaha Swaha, Om Kirti Namaha Swaha, Om Muni Namaha Swaha, Om Bhojan Namaha Swaha, Om Bhukta Namaha Swaha, Om Mahabuddhi Namaha Swaha, Om Mahashakti Namaha Swaha, Om Dhruva Namaha Swaha, Om Mantra Namaha Swaha, Om Stuta Namaha Swaha, Om Vijaya Namaha Swaha, Om Vimochanaya Namaha Swaha, Om Devpriya Namaha Swaha, Om Devnath Namaha Swaha, Om Govinda Namaha Swaha, Om Hariya Namaha Swaha, Om Ekabandhu Namaha Swaha, Om Bringi Raj Namaha Swaha, Om Shantabhadra Namaha Swaha, Om Sama Namaha Swaha, Om Balarupaya Namaha Swaha, Om Karanaya Namaha Swaha, Om Kartaya Namaha Swaha, Om Sakalaya Namaha Swaha, Om Akalaya Namaha Swaha, Om Punyaya Namaha Swaha, Om Vasupradataya Namaha Swaha, Om Mahakalaya Namaha Swaha, Om Lokabandhu Namaha Swaha. Om Ring Batukaya Apdo Dwaraya Kuru Kuru Batakaya Om Namah Shivaya Swaha Om Trayambakam Yat Sugandhim Arukamiva Bandana Mukshyam Amritat Swaha Om Hum Om Jum Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Diyo Yona Prachodayat Swaha Om Hum Om Jum Sabhurbhuva Swaha Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Chandrashirase Jatine Nama Swaha Om Hum Om Jum Sabhurbhuva Swaha Yajamahe Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Ashtamurtaye Mama Jivane Nama Swaha Om Jalabimbaya Vidmahi Nilaya Purushaya Dhimahi Tanno Varun Prachodayat Swaha Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahi Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat Swaha Om Ramadutaya Vidmahi Vayuputraya Dhimahi Tanno Hanumat
Prachodayat Swaha.
Om Tripura Sundari Divya Vidmahi Kameshwari Cha Dhimahi Tanno Devi Prachodayat Swaha Om Hirang Haring Harung Shri Vayuputraya Namaha Swaha. If there's a person tonight looking on, those of you here suffering from eye-related sickness, Tonight is a night on the Monday night. Thank you. Tonight is a night we pray for that type of problems. These mantras, as a guru, it is my duty to share this information with you. When you come yag, if you do not get the help, what are we doing? Om Anjani Garbha Sambhutam Kumaram Brahmacharinim Drushti Dosh Vina Sharta Hanumat Smaranam Yaham Nama Swaha. For the person who is getting head as well as eyes, let's say vertigo, different type of headache, but it's tied to the eyes, like tension headache, etc. Listen good to the mantra, you have to put your name in it. This is a mantra that people who Jarifat Kapari use. Om Namo Bhagavate Aditya Rupaya Agaksha. Put your name, say your full name. Akshay Rogam Akshay Pid Nama Swaha. Om Namo, eye problem again. Om Namo Ramakadanush Lakshman Kaban Ange Daridra Kareto Lakshman Keban Swaha. For people who have headache and pain, people who are suffering, the pregnant girl who is going through different type of suffering, people who have, because of the change in the moon, epileptic attacks. Om Age Bando, Age Baital, Bando So Kal, Bikaral Bando, Solo Har Hanumate Bando, Bajar Asha Hoye, Bajar Dhyan Danta Pekar, Tu Mahadev Ke An Swaha. Dear Lord, tonight we pray for the health and the help that all here in the mandir, here in Satya Jyoti, this true light, this place where communal worship is fostered for the benefit of the viewing public, those people at home, those people in the hospital, for those people in the hospice. We make this offering 3 times for your health. We pray, we lift our hands and offer this on behalf of everybody. Om Vasugra Choha Mantra Rayam Shasho Kavi Govabo Nama Swaha. Om Vasugra Choha Mantra Rayam Shosha Shasho Kavi Govabo Nama Swaha. Om Vasugra Choha Mantra Rayam Shasho Kavi Govabo Nama Swaha. Dear Lord, for helping other people, for providing knowledge, forgive your pundit, for helping the servants and the sevak who made prasad, cook food, the people whose hands are offering this havan, for helping people cheat karma. The karma sometimes leave one person and it go to another person. May you cleanse us who help, who take our life, take our hands, these social workers, community workers, family servants that assist other people get through their day. And may you cleanse them and protect them from the lashback of karma, the accountability. Om Bhurabhuvaswa Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat Swaha.
Om Bhurabhuvaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurabhuvaswaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat Swaha.
Dear Lord, these devotees of yours are praying for help in their own life. And on days like this, People pray, now that we've cleansed ourselves for helping other people, we want barakat. We want the Lakshmi. People talk about losing the Lakshmi. The place seems hard and bad for everybody who is praying. Say Swaha with us as we offer this mantra. Please come and dwell in my home, Mother Lakshmi. Remove Alakshmi and allow, by virtue of the prayer that we say, that goodness, peacefulness, happiness, sleep is allowed to come back into my dominion. Om Bhori Lakshmi Devi Lakshmi Siddhi Karni Mam Banda Puri Kriyam Swaha. Om Bhori Lakshmi Devi Lakshmi Siddhi Karni Mam
Banda Puri Kriyam Swaha. Om Bhori Lakshmi Devi Lakshmi Siddhi Karni Mam Banda Puri Kriyam Swaha.
This prayer is chanted when the month of Shravan is running. And the person is praying for favor, or within your heart, a desire for all parents, for all people who have an addicted child to pornography, to devices, to vice, to any type of addiction. We do not have time to be insincere or dishonest in our prayer. Dear God, there is a problem and I don't know how to tackle it. Please help me with my trouble. Om Ayurdehi, Dhyanam Dehi, Vidyam Dehi, Maheshwari, Samasta Kilam Dehi, Dehi Me Parameshwari Nama Swaha. Let's go again. Ayurdehi, Dhyanam Dehi, Vidyam Dehi, Maheshwari, Samasta Kilam Dehi, Dehi Me Parameshwari Nama Swaha. One more. Ayurdehi, Dhyanam Dehi,
Vidyam Dehi, Maheshwari, Samastakilam Dehi, Dehi Me Parameshwari Nama Swaha.
Dear Lord, this is Bhagwat. This is where you hold the body of Bhagwan. And the person who comes to touch the energy of this Bhaga, this Lakshmi, the person feels a difference when milking the body of the negative karma. Yagya, that word yagya is sacrifice. If the person does not make a sacrifice of prasad, but they make a sacrifice of their time, this most precious commodity, the one thing I cannot make more of, God. I can make these gray hair turn black. When I'm bald head, I could make more hair grow. But I cannot manifest or make more time. In your prayer, I offer the time. I could have been sleeping. I could have been doing other things. I offer this to you tonight, while some are offering butter and prasad and salt food. In my home, where hardship lives, I offer you the time that I have. Please accept this gift on behalf of all of us tonight. And in the same way you brought the joy and tears to Brahma, that all he had to offer the Lord were the tears from his eyes to wash your holy feet. Accept this fool, accept this sinner who has made the world of mistakes, and bless me to be better, God. I don't need a crown. I don't need a castle. But open a door for me to be better. Give me an opportunity to work and be better. If you give me a chance, I could do it. Om Puranamida, Puranamidam, Puranata, Puranamudakshate, Puranasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Puranati Gwam Shanti Swaha. Principle of Indravan Bihadila Laki Jai. Pass water on your fire. Sarva Papam Maram Divyam Gangiyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanam Mayadatam Grahina Parmeshwaram. Fan you smoke with a flower or your hand if you have. Vanaspati Rasau Bhuto Gandhadyo Gandhoktamam Agre Sarva Devanam Tupoyam Pratigridam. Take the heat and pass it over your body. Akashatam patitam toyam yadha grakshatim tu sagaram sarvo devam namaskaram kesava patigrakshatim. Principle of Indravan Bihadilala ki jai. Tonight I have my brother Pandit. Tonight I have my savior with me, Pandit Sanjay. When my voice said, you do enough. Feel he's still saying that. I called Pandit Sanjay short notice. And I said, Pandit, I need help. And Baba came and did puja. Tonight, when I was lying down, somebody messaged, Pandit, we could have been singing, boy. But because of the sacrifice of your team, Pandit and everybody else, we get to pray. I didn't know about this Sawan, this Shravan. But because we get to join all you, the opportunity to say prayers, mantras, we never get to say or offer. Where we live remote from temple. Don't think about yourself who had too much temple around. Which one to go tonight? Too much options for Parsad. Imagine it have people in Holland watching me. People in Hindu people, Trinidadian people, Guyanese people living in Iceland looking at Viyag and wishing that they could have gotten the opportunity to taste a little morsel of that Charan Amrit. Tonight, Pandit, if you could come here on this side by me here, where the camera could see you. Limited camera when you're traveling, you can't move too much. But my voice is done. Baba, it have some people that have been praying. Give them a little mantra as they're getting ready to close the prayer. Say a little mantra with them. Tell them you can't have to catch me. Everybody put your hands together. We're going to do
Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Kante Baito Saraswati Hirday Baito Mahesh Sanamukha Mera Baitiye Gauri Putra Ganesh Sada Bhavani Raini Sanmukha Rahe Ganesh पांच देव रक्षा करे ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश ओम ध्यान मूलम गुरुमूर्ति पूजा मूलम गुरु परम मंत्र मूलम गुरुर्व्याख्यम मोक्षय मूलम गुरु कृपा समुकष्ट एकदंतष्ट कपिलोक गजकर्णक लंबोदरष्ट विगतो विघ्ननाशो विनायक धूम्रकेतु घनाधक्षो भालचंद्रो गजानन द्वादिशेतानि नमानि अपतेषु नुयादपि विद्यारंभे विवाहे च प्रवेशे निर्गमे तथा संग्रामे संकटश्चैव विघ्नस्तस्य न जायते ओम कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावद् करोमि यद्वत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायति समर्पयामि ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय Mitro Rama Amritam Gamaye Om Shanti 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 Om.
Baba. Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. Somebody asked me a couple of years ago if it is possible to do a yaga without music. And a drummer got me angry because of his behavior. And I said, you know what, we're going to do a jag. Prayer came and she told me. And I said, I'm going to read my whole jag without one Majira. And everybody told me that we could do it. Please remember, When our people left India, we did not have a song system. We did not have an orchestra. We had God in our heart and a lot of hardship. And when you know catch still, when you know sickness and suffering, no amount of drum and dantal will take away that. Then you get down in your prayer and in a satsang where we would call Sada satsang. Trust me, take away all the song and singing and distractions. It had to have reading. It then becomes very real that the book and the words of the God is being dispensed to the person listening. That the karma, by listening not to the words of Keshava, but the words of God, is penetrating into your ears. No opinion of me here was expressed. But the true words from fact, from book, is what you get. And that is what Yagya is. That is what we endeavor into. This is how Sanatana is supposed to pray. If we do not give these type of examples to children, and you don't even know what a yag is, 10 years from now, you may not want to be Hindu anymore. When you see where we're going, it's dangerous. Thank God we have safe places to practice our faith when we are imploding. Forget the days when other religion would attack our faith. We have enough infighting in our Dharma where they want to pull shortcut and they want to cut out this part and cut out that part and replace it by convenience. And when you cut at your own Dharma, it is better you cut off your own foot or your own appendage because you are damaging yourself. If this text and this Prabhu is your assistant to help you find God, like the boat analogy, and you poke a hole in your own boat, where will you end up in short time? Vindravan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Everybody, I apologize for this. But all day we've been doing different type of prayer to help people. A Bhagwat is a tool. If you never had the experience to pray whole day, not just the reading, but sit down and do jap, havan, puja. And when you hear people say, I cross something, I have a different type of problem. People go hunting for Bhagwat, so that in the middle of all of that, I get to do prayer there, to get the cleansing, to get the healing, the help that I cannot find anywhere else. And that is one of the reasons why this truth didn't stop. And I apologize for it, but as rest will come with support like from Baba and others, we'll get through it, our Bhagwat. Everybody, let's all stand as we bring the curtain down on our sixth reading. Our second day of Bhagwat is now done. Let's join together. Yeah. Let's join together with Arati. Shrotas only take up all the tari. Don't worry, these are the house. Only run the show here. And look at that, we in time. Thank you, Lord.
Om Sajam Chavarti Samyuktam Vahina Yojitam Maya Deepam Grahana Devesha Dailokyatamiraapaham Jai Janani Jai Bhagwatam Jai Janani Jai Bhagwatam Jai Janani Jai Bhagwatam Jai Janani Jai Bhagwatam जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये पंचन वेर निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मुक्ति पंथ ये
पंचम वेद निराला
नव ज्योति जगाने वाला, हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही, हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही, जग के मंगल की आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत, पापों को मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला। ये शांति गीत पावन पुनीत, श्रापों को मिटाने वाला, हरि दर्श दिखाने वाला। है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी, है सुख करनी है दुख हरनी, ये मधुसूदन की आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ये मधुर बोल जग पंद खोल, सन्मार्ग दिखाने वाला, बिगड़े को बनाने वाला। ये मधुर बोल जग पंद खोल, सन्मार्ग दिखाने वाला, बिगड़े को बनाने वाला। श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही, श्री राम यही घनश्याम यही, प्रभु की महिमा की आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। ओम पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम पापोऽहं पापकर्महं पाप आत्मपापसंभव, त्राहि मां पुण्डरीकाक्ष सर्वपापहरो हरिम्। ओम कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावत्, करोमि यद्वत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणाय समर्पयामि। ओम करचरणकृतवाक् कायजन्म कर्मजं वा, श्रवणनयनमजं वा मानसं वापराधं, वहितम् अवितं वा सर्वम् एतत् क्षमस्व। जय जय करुणादे श्री महादेव शंभु, श्री महादेव शंभु, श्री महादेव शंभु। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ओम मंत्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दनं, यत्पूजितं मया देवं परिपूर्णं तरस्तु मे। ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Hari Om. Those of you who can bow, bow and touch in the ground. Om Asatoma Sadagamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mitrudama Amritam Gamaya. करो भक्ति से दंडवत शत शतो करो प्रणाम सरा बसो उर्मे मेरे बन गुरु शिव श्री राम परम गुरु महाराज की जय श्री गणेश भगवान की जय वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय आदि शक्ति जगदम्बे मैया की जय श्री महालक्ष्मी माता की जय माँ सरस्वती माता की जय बंदी माता की जय सर्वदेवी सर्वदेवता सर्वसारु ऋषि मुनि जन की जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय व्यास भगवान की जय श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय.
Jai Jai Sitaram, Sitaram, everybody. So, we continue in the morning as we will enter into our seventh reading. Please continue to send your questions, send your comments, and anything that you would like us to answer, please send it. And we will continue in the morning. Everybody, God bless you all for all Sabha, all groups looking on. Join.